To a WTOL 11 investigation tonight, Darryl Stipes was a popular drummer known throughout Toledo's band scene for decades. But his music was silenced on June 21st, 2012, when he was shot 4 times in front of his Waldmar Avenue home in Sylvania Township. He lived long enough to call for help himself.
We grew up as teenagers in the same part of town, the old south end of Toledo.
He was the 911 caller. He called and said that he'd been shot.
When you kill a musician like that and murder him, it affects more than just his immediate family and the people around him. It affects a lot of people over the years that heard his music and heard him play and how it affected their heart and soul over time. You don't forget that. When you hear a band do your favorite song and they do it very well, and it stays with you. And so there's many, many people in this town that remember Daryl.
911.
I've been shot 4 times.
Daryl Stipes told the dispatcher 2 men shot him, 1 black, 1 white. Both were wearing hoodies.
What's your name?
Daryl Stipes.
Gerald, what's going on there?
I just turned Rob. 4 shots, I'm dying.
You've been shot?
Yes.
Daryl died about a half hour later at Toledo Hospital.
Every time I hear a Carlos Santana song or different songs, he'll pop right in my head like it was yesterday. Played some of the clubs, the bike clubs and stuff like that.
Childhood friend Jay Michael meets me in Levis Square downtown, just one place where he and Daryl used to play around town.
Well, here we do weekend all-day bands. Set up different bands and let them play for an hour and then change them out. Every little corner you could get a gig in, that's where you played at in this town. That's what you still do today.
Jay tells me Daryl had some pretty serious health issues at the time of his death and was in dire financial straits, so he sold some of his prescription pills to keep up.
He was on heavy-duty pain medication, and he was also broke. So the price of those pills got him by a little bit, selling them off. But it was his own medication, and it was totally misrepresented as him being a drug dealer. That was not the case at all. Although I'm not painting him as an angel or he's never done anything wrong.
Jay says Daryl was very particular about who came to his house and believes he knew at least one of the killers.
If he didn't know you, he didn't want you coming to his front door. And I know that he knew the one guy, and the guy that he brought with him, I believe, was the guy that did the shooting, and he didn't know who he was.
I was actually a road officer, and it came in just at the end of the shift.
Detective Sergeant Lee McKinney was one of the first on the scene when Daryl was shot and leads the investigation today. He says there's no evidence Daryl was trying to sell pills the night he was killed or that he was dishonestly filling prescriptions.
It was looked into some, yeah, but nothing that really panned out from there. Not like if he was doing it, it wasn't anything he was doing with great consistency.
The pill theory hasn't led to anything, but police do agree back then and today, Daryl was chosen.
I can, with almost 100% certainty tell people that this wasn't random, that he was a selected target.
Why just that house and not another house? What makes it important?
Daryl's description of 2 men, 1 black and 1 white, does seem to check out with people on the street.
That was also what some of the neighbors had seen, were 2 males who were standing at the edge of the property.
That does not mesh with another lead police followed at the time of the killing, a fight in a pizza shop parking lot. Daryl filed a police report the previous year saying he bumped into this man, Frank DeMarco's car in the lot. Daryl told police DeMarco shoved his car door, hitting Daryl in the face. He even filed a civil suit against DeMarco just a month before the shooting.
No connection. I know they looked into it, but nothing that kind of brought back the result of wanting to actually cause harm to it.
He was the best friend anybody can have. He'll do anything for you. He's the greatest person. He's my best friend.
Daryl drummed for his best buddy Josh Boyd and the VIP band for about 20 years at the time of his death. They jammed around Toledo 4 days a week, Thursdays through Sundays, including at the Polish Ostrich, where Josh meets me today.
Daryl came to my show, and we became best friends ever since. And he was my drummer for a long time, and best friend, you know, my brother. I love him a lot.
His murder left a deep hole in the band, and not knowing who killed him haunts Josh to this day.
I hope they find the person that did it. My friend's been dead for 9.5 years and nothing's been said, you know, so hopefully they get it, the investigation closed.
I think it's been frustrating for the department. We don't like any case that we can't solve, you know, and especially when it's somebody's life that's been taken. We've looked through the evidence here several months back and even talked to BCI again, and they reprocessed some things, trying to find some DNA, and we didn't have any luck finding any DNA off of the things that we had taken. So, which is really strange. It's just difficult to say, why don't we find those things, or why isn't it connected yet?
The guy that did it, or both the guys that were involved in it, get what they deserve. They shouldn't be out here walking around. Somebody knows something. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And the people that do know, I'm sure they're scared, but it's been long enough now that they should step forward.
Police are hoping maybe somebody's talked, or maybe you saw something or remember something about Daryl's killing. Give Sylvania Township Police a call so they can give his friends and family closure.